Okay, we got one person or no? Is anyone out there? We start the meeting already, huh? I'm gonna be here every Sunday, fully, to just meet up with YouTube. Perhaps we can create a steady gathering every weekend, and we'll see where it takes us. So far, not so far. It's not going very far. So far, seems like I am here alone. So I will wait. I did accidentally. Yusuf, how are you doing, my friend? Everything working now? I think, yeah. If you hear me and if you see me, I think we're live. And Yusuf, if you wanna join Google Meeting and to talk, feel free, join in, but just please have your camera on. No one else will see it, only me. Although the meeting will be recorded, so bear that in mind. I'm feeling lost, but I am okay. I think being lost and okay are two different things. I think you could be lost and okay at the same time. Zohlani, my friend, welcome. this is much better now. And then make these text a little bit bigger. I'm okay with being lost. I feel I can't change the feeling with my own power at the moment. I will join when I know I can join without any distraction. Fair enough. Yeah, this is a long journey. We will be here perhaps every weekend. You can join at any time and any day. No rush. Change the feeling, huh? You can't really change the feeling. The feeling is not changeable. I guess if it was changeable, you wouldn't call it feeling, huh? You just gotta change the environment and then the feeling will change. But you can't change the feeling. Mm-hmm. Let's get a little bit of a nice. Who else is out there? Show yourself. I'm glad that we met. Take care of yourself, man. shows there are a few people out there. So it's okay if you want to say hi. It's okay if you want to introduce yourself. It's okay to maybe do something. So you're not saying hi, huh? Is that how it works? You enjoy my presence and I get nothing. I guess that's fine. Thomas, my friend. Hello. Long time no see, my friend. How are you doing? It's been a while, yeah. You went from a top commenter to a stranger, huh? Doing decent. Doing decent is good. Little journey. That's nice. You can come up on the meeting if you want to share your journey. Okay. Let me let you in. Bring in. Hey Thomas, just hang in there. Let me see what Zohlani says. Do you believe that the energy you emit is recognizable without words? I don't believe, because that's just a word, huh? But if it does, I guess people would know. Hey Thomas, how's it going?
Doing well. Well, actually, not well, but like decent, decent.
Decent.
Yeah,
Okay.
could be better. Yeah, I guess. How are you doing, Remy?
Doing pretty decent, yeah.
Decent as well.
Yeah, decent as well.
That's good. But
Right.
you're consistently decent, right?
I mean, I
Like,
would like to think that way, yeah, because I haven't been not decent, so I don't, you know necessarily these days, because life just keeps on giving. Then I
that's good.
suppose that's pretty decent, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Tell me what's up. Did you finish your study?
Yeah. I'm about to. Uh, summer. I didn't have any summer studies, but I'm finishing my study this year, so I
Okay,
have like a fall semester.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Tell me about
I
your
can't.
journey.
Oh, oh, the journey. Okay. The journey was crazy. I don't know. Well, it was like a mix of some just seeing thoughts as they are, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
we lost him. He left. I guess he will be back. Something bugged. Yeah, you talk about thoughts, everything bugs. Come back in. Don't leave me hanging. Who's out there? So far, Zohlani. And I don't know why he says that I believe in that energy that I emit is
okay.
recognizable without words. That's pretty confusing, but it's fine, I guess. So you were saying you were thinking about thoughts?
Yeah, thoughts.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a. I think. Uh, all right. Okay, so about thoughts, right? So like I've done a lot of philosophy also, so like I get to kind of like play with thoughts, I'll do some mind games,
Yeah.
so so like when so like I like to like analyze all sorts of statements, like including statements that are we tend to call them subjective, but there are certain statements that are just super hard to deny, you know, like um, you're gonna die. It's uh, like for me, for me, like that statement is special in a sense that it's like number one, it's hard to deny, and it's something about the future. You see, it's like so then you're like, okay, so like this thought here is substantial. It's um, like predicting the future is actually meaningful because at least I got one thing right. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
So then
think
I was
I
like,
think
wait a minute.
I think
Yeah.
you are going on the path of this mathematician, right? And that I guess gets you to somehow to a point that you gotta come up with the statements that you can somehow make sense in your head by proving it because you know that you will die,
Yeah. Yeah.
the dying part is mathematically correct, in a way you
Yeah.
will die. And for me personally, it reminded me of a story that I was somewhere in the mountains, and there was this old man, and one evening he just randomly he tells me never get old. And this really stayed with me, man. I was like, never get old. How is that even possible? And this simply is the same thing, you cannot not get old. It's like you're
Yeah.
getting old. You're just simply getting old. And of course, he was meaning that being old sucks. Don't get old. It's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but at the same time, it
Mm,
somehow creates a struggle in you that, but yeah, I gotta get old. There's no escape from that. Why do you do that to me?
yeah.
It
Yeah.
plays with your head.
But wait, I'm gonna tell you something. It's crazy here. All
Yeah.
right. So in mathematics, right, there's this thing called the axiom of choice. So it's something. It's a statement that you can like kind of choose or make up some sort of rule on your own like will. And as it turns out, this statement here, we're able to prove like quite a bit of like uh, substantial theorems that are applied in many applications. So it like so what I'm saying is that there's like some sort of like like let me see here, like like there is some sort of an assumption of control definition, right? It's like let's say if I think of the set of integers, right? Then the number, let's say pi, will never be an integer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to kind of sort of imagine this, abstract it, right? And somehow it kind of works. You know,
Yeah,
because
but until it
like
breaks again, no?
so so it's I I think the way the mathematician like see truth, like how do they see truth, is that uh you know, you can imagine anything you want, but as long as you don't derive a contradiction from, let's say, a given system, then all your statements are true. So as long as it's consistent, and that's all is needed. Even though, like, let's say your beginning, your the beginning statements that like you assume, even though you can kind of debate about it and have a philosophical debate about it, but somehow it can like map over to like reality. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying. I'm really trying here to get what you're saying. But what you're saying is somehow bigger than what you're saying. It's really hard to grasp where you're coming from because why the struggle? I don't understand. Like,
Well, why the struggle? Oh, because like it's like like you have to assume that you you can distinguish or see the difference between infinitely amount of numbers in order to be able to talk about them in a meaningful way. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but why do you want to see the infinite amount of numbers when you can see all them all at once?
See them all at once.
I'm just saying you think too hard for something so simple. It's like you get yourself involved to see the fabric of universe as a scientist to somehow prove the illusion. It's like this got to be an
Yeah,
illusion. There is
yeah,
no
but
other way. I'm just saying, so why the long run? Why not the already look at it as an illusion? It just shows it to you.
right, because like because yes, that's why I said like math underneath of it is an illusion. Is like you said, it's an illusion. But somehow, even though it's an illusion, we can like it's still meaningful because we can use it. We can kind of interpret it in
Of
like some
course, my
like
friend. Like this law of attraction and manifestation and all of these voodoo work does not exist for nothing. You can always create a future. That's just like we as human beings will always doing that. Any type
yeah
of imagination creates some sort of future. And as you were initially saying, that now I'm discovering that the future is holds something because I can change it. It's just
yeah
basically true, right? Because past is the only time that is truly gone. And if you want to look at any other time that has a possibility, it's just the future. But at the end, you got to come to this point that eventually you got to drop the future as well. Eventually, whatever
yeah
you create is part of the illusion, right? You can
yeah
play with the illusion, but eventually what? Eventually you got to drop the illusion. You cannot not
yeah
come out of it. And as soon as you come out of it, then basically what people might call, I don't know, non-dual or present, or that particular
yeah
moment that you basically, in many, let's say, religions or in many practices, you will find that moment somehow more real than this moment. Somehow you realize that what actual illusion is, because at the moment you're trying to figure it out, right? At the moment you don't see the illusion. At the moment you would like to prove that this is an illusion. At the moment you would like to think that this is an illusion. At the moment you would like to participate in it. Okay, then I can just have a law of attraction, then I can have manifestation, then I can just become perhaps create any type of fortunes for myself. But at 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 the end you're testing it, right? Because why
Yeah.
not $1 million in your pocket right now if you could do it very efficiently? If
Mm.
you could do it very efficiently, why not a castle right now and be the king? It's like you're still trying to figure it out. You would love to think that way and go for it and manifest something, but you need to go very perhaps slowly. You gotta see, like, oh, I want to manifest $1 million, but tomorrow $10 come ahead. Then this is part of that $1 million, perhaps. Then you start seeing the synchronicity. You start seeing, oh, perhaps this is what I'm asking for. Like, all of these things
Mm.
makes sense because you somehow creating some sort of future. Therefore, you have to just like align yourself with that future that you create. Therefore, you see things that is more aligned. But you could just see this $10 on a random day, and you wouldn't think, oh, this is part of that $1 million, because I asked for $1 million. You would be like, oh, holy shit, $10, that's it. I didn't ask for it. I'm a lucky person. But as soon as you ask for something, then everything else makes somehow not illusion. Oh, this makes sense. But at
Mm.
the end, what's the struggle, huh? Wait, Thomas, someone wants to join.
Okay.
Let's see who wants to join. Josh, is that Josh? Okay, bring in Dole. Hey, Josh, how are you doing? I just brought in someone that called Dole, and I think he's called House, if I'm not wrong, or what? Dole? Dole, my friend, you need to have the camera on.
Uh,
Hey,
hey, what's up, Dole? Yeah. How's it going? Hey.
very good. Can you have your camera on, please?
Not today, I'm afraid, but eventually.
Eventually. Okay, why not
Yeah.
today?
Just uncomfortable with it.
Okay,
Plus, it's all taped up. I got it all duct taped. I'm using my phone right now, and it's the the camera is all duct tape shut. I'd have to take the tape off and all that business. So just a little shy.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you to leave then and come next week, but I think maybe not. Maybe I don't do that and just announce that whoever wants to join the meeting, please make sure your camera is going to be on. And if not, then maybe another day. But Dole, tell us, is your name Dole? Am I pronouncing right?
Full name's Coleman.
Coleman. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Meet you, Coleman.
Coleman. Coleman.
Yeah.
Let's see what says in the chat. Thomas, numbers are only representations of entities. I know music to be the only truth, as there is pattern to a certain degree in all things, natural or man-made, and all things are simply in a notion of awareness. That was for you, Thomas. So,
Yeah. That's right. Numbers are representations. Um, yeah, so that's why we have to kind of interpret the numbers, like map it into like physical phenomena, and then like, okay, one is like one apple, or two is two apples. Like you have to kind of interpret the numbers, but you can see, like, before you start mapping to like the physical phenomena, you can see the symbols as themselves and apply rules onto the symbols themselves, and kind of see some patterns within the symbols. That's how I see math. Yeah.
He also is very good in Buddhism and math, I suppose. That
Yeah, I do read some Buddhism. Yeah.
yeah, maybe at some point we get to have some of that wisdom. But first, let's see who's Coleman. I know you for a long time, right?
Yes, it's been a couple years now, or a year. I've been
Okay.
listening. And
Okay. Tell me about yourself, man.
um, I'm Coleman. I got addiction issues and struggling with that for years now, and I'm climbing out of it slowly but surely. And the last 2 or 3 years have been I've done more to help myself than the last 10 years prior. Um, yeah, is kind of a make or break part of my life is where I just got to straighten out.
Yeah.
It's been cannabis, man. It's been a hell of a road abusing that drug.
How
What
come?
drug was it? Cannabis? Cannabis and psychedelics and all the rest. Well, pretty much just that. But
Can you give us a little bit of a background? When did you start? How it just developed? What do you say problematic, for example? What is problematic? Because when you say cannabis, I also smoke, but
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
problematic.
The way
So
to go about it, where I think the term is smoking backwards, where you're smoking every day. So what'll happen is I'll wake up in the morning and this and this isn't right, and I start cycling thoughts, and it does dampen the cycling thoughts maybe 70% of the time. But the flip side is the rest of the day is wasted. Oh, somebody new?
no, it's okay. You continue.
Yeah. No, so it's been our cycle of avoiding what because you use substances to, if you weren't using the substances, you'd be dealing with these emotions in a proper way. You'd be building muscle to grow. But I've obviously chosen this substance to be a replacement for growing, and it creates some weight to it. Not really sure what I'm trying to say, but
Okay.
like, yeah.
And what's the struggle now?
Uh, right now I'm just anxious because I'm in a social interaction. I haven't done that much, but
Okay. Would you like to be quiet here?
probably most for the most part, like you're
Okay.
listening to the.
Let me talk to Josh. Hey, man. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Very
How's
good.
everybody?
Very good. Josh, maybe if you want to introduce yourself, I know that you might have your own way of looking at the whole thing, but please, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, is it just the three of us right now?
And we are live, right? Of
Yeah.
course, there are other peoples, but for now, yeah,
Uh-huh.
we are just us three. And then whoever wants to join, um, feel free,
Yeah.
but have your camera on and also maybe mute yourself. And because now we're getting to pretty good amount of people to be having nice and smooth conversations, but just simply let us not interrupt each other and perhaps not distract each other and be here simply to be here. Thank you, Josh. Tell me.
Yeah. Well, I just stumbled on and saw that you were live, so I was like, well, I'll just listen. And
Nice.
then you said you're telling, no offense, Dole, but if you don't, if you didn't want to, what you were saying to him, if you don't want to join, then maybe next time, just catch us next time. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I better join. So,
Nice.
so, but I'm actually working right now.
Are you at the fire department?
I'm at the firehouse, and
Okay.
right now it's after lunch, so guys kind of get away and lay down, try to get some sleep,
Okay.
uh, and then go work out or whatever. But so I'm just kind of chilling right now.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
yeah. Thanks for your hard work. Oh, sure. Do you
Okay.
do muscle ups? What's that? Do you do like you said you exercise? Do you like do muscle ups? You know, you go over the bar and stuff. I'm not that strong. Ah, okay, okay. Yeah. I tried, but I got a bad shoulder too, so I just and I'm older, a little older, so I just try to stay in shape as well as I can, you know, and not, you know, I used to be a lot stronger than I am now, but yeah, I realize as you get older, it's more about just trying to keep your body in shape and healthy as opposed to just getting strong. Yeah, yeah, getting shredded. Yeah. Yeah. The body will get shredded if you take care of it, you know? Yeah. So, yeah. Thomas, are you part of the group? The, the on the group? School? Yeah, the school. No, I'm not. No. Yeah.
No, this one is now. I thought maybe I also, because Josh is part of the school community as well, and there we have another meeting, and maybe Josh, you're thinking that this is the school meeting, perhaps.
Yeah, I was just like I said, stumbled upon it and was like, well.
But now this is a new live sessions that I want to go live as a YouTube community meetup, and of course everyone is welcome to join, but perhaps you think that this is the other one, but we had that one 3 hours ago. Okay. Yeah, but that's fine. I just wanted to let you know that this is part of this new YouTube meetup. So I would like to schedule it, then people can join, because I was so far going live randomly, and that just creates a totally different dynamic. But now, uh, perhaps I stick to this schedule every weekend for building up the YouTube community as well alongside the school community, and then perhaps whoever wants to join the school, we find a way for them to join the school. That's what's up.
I'm curious, is it Dole?
Yep. Oh, it's Coleman.
Coleman.
Yeah.
Okay. And Thomas, like what, you know, either one of you guys or both. I'm just curious, like what's drew you uh to this channel? To listening to Mommy's channel, yeah.
You're curious, huh?
Well, I've actually followed Mammy for quite some time now. Um, uh, it's just until like a couple months ago I started commenting. Yeah. You know, Mammy did say some things that resonated with me. Like, for example, you know, he seems to talk about a lot of really practical things, like, you know, some sort of contemplation about, you know, your immortality in one of his old videos. At first, I didn't really understand it because, uh, like, it was kind of like it's, you know, it's trivial, you know, like everyone kind of knows this already, right? Mm. But like, it's just until recently, like after reading some, you know, Buddhism and some like just really trying to study mathematics, like just really try to make, you know, solid arguments, then somehow whatever Mammy said like a long time ago finally clicked. Like how we're supposed to relate to these kind of things. Yeah. Hi. Yeah.
Cool.
How about you?
Flames flying over. I got to mute.
I'm happy, Thomas, that things clicked, because all it takes for things to click is paying attention at the right time. That's just how it is.
That's how it is.
And
That's how it works for me.
that what?
Sorry to interrupt, but that's how it works for me. Like, you know, your videos are a lot like a meditation in some form of way, to where it puts you into a train of thought, or less thought almost, to where what you say, depending on what it is, one thing, or it may be one thing, it may be the whole video, but there's something there that strikes a chord a lot of the time, to where you're put in a state to where you can really communicate. And if you're open to seeing it or hearing it, feeling it, uh, it can really be a profound experience, kind of, at least it is for me. So that's,
The
what it's
trick
done for me.
is pretty simple. The trick is pretty simple. I act like the way the waterfall, for example, acts. Like if you go by the waterfall, you will be the same, the same flow, the same zone, because you cannot come out of the waterfall, because simply that waterfall is there, and it's not something, you know, somewhat profound at all. But in that moment for you, it's profound because we don't see waterfalls every day. It's like,
Yeah.
as soon as you see the waterfall, you're like, okay, I get it. I get the majestic part of this, right? And here is also the trick is simple. The trick is, for me, meditate myself. It's just like I meditate. Therefore, whoever comes across in that waterfall moment, then it's like, okay, I see it now. And that's just how it works. Being a state in the state of flow creates a flow. And perhaps this is the trick. And it works for everyone. If you do that as well, being in the state of flow, you realize that others simply tune in. Others simply realize that it's okay to be in the flow. It's okay to be in the moment. But if you don't do that, everyone gets caught up in something. And everyone somehow on a string tries to communicate. And somehow this doesn't match because everyone's flow is different. But as soon as you put everyone in one flow, then everyone flows. Like it's the best teamwork, for example. If every person on a team gets in a flow, then you can't really beat that team, can you? It's like it's simply everyone is flowing together. Therefore, the agency extends. And now for us, it's also the same. I guess for me, is to always create an environment for you. It's like that's just how it works. Any other way, it fails. Any other way, it cannot work. At 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 in logic level, it will work. I could make it work. In mind level, I could make anything work. But in the momentary level, in this present moment, I got to be present. I cannot be in the mind and make you present. It's just like that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that's what it is like you say, like logic. Most things that we watch are semi entertaining, but I listen to a lot of what is seen as factual, maybe, but very logical stuff, or just a bunch of the same stuff that's working on the mind or the brain, and whereas you just explained, it's more so getting in touch and really attracting people in a different way, which, like I said, is what got me.
Yeah, and it doesn't work for everyone though. It's like it's not the mainstream as well. It cannot work for everyone. Like it's just exactly the way Thomas says that I missed it the first time, and then second time somehow I clicked in a different way, somewhere else, and that's just
Yeah.
how it is. It just requires a certain readiness, it's like, and not that Thomas wasn't ready, it's just like perhaps Thomas needed more of something else to be ready for this, it's like that's just how it works. and
Right.
and for so many people this doesn't work, like there are perhaps thousands of people come across these videos and they just perhaps take something else from it, but also it works for you because you're ready for that, you know environment. As we discussed, like it's a pretty advanced environment, this environment. It's like if you look at all the community that we have, everyone is somehow advanced. You know, everyone somehow is in a totally different state of being in comparison to other spiritual communities. And that's
Mhm.
not to say that we are awesome, but that's to just say that we are not here for many things. We are here only for one thing. And that's just very important. And that one thing is all I'm cultivating. It's just like, let it go. You know, it's like, relax, chill.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have anything to worry, but at the same time, you can create anything you want and do it because you got to do it. You know, this is the only way you can just simply do it. And we are all here for one thing, to just be simply present, I suppose.
Yeah.
Hmm. Coleman, you were going to say something?
Oh, I'm sat underneath an airport, so I often have to mute when a plane flies over. And that's what I had to say.
Okay. Then it's
Yeah,
fine. You just chill there.
yeah.
Anyone on the chat would like to say something that perhaps create some sort of conversation here? If you are shy
Well,
enough to join here, you can just say something in the chat because these
yeah,
people are not shy. Look, Thomas wants to keep.
yes.
Wait, hold up a
Uh,
second. Let me get someone talk on the chat because the shy people are out there. I gotta take
yeah.
care of them as well. Now tell me, Thomas.
Okay, so back to the illusion. Why play with the illusion, right? Because it works. Because
Yeah,
for me, like, so, uh, you said that, um, uh, like, because I like math a lot, so, um, and yes, there's like some sort of assumption that is definitely like, um, like, like an assumption of some sort of, I can do this for eternity, like control the symbols for eternity. Like there's like that hidden assumption in there. And uh and like somehow the the mathematics that's derived from that kind of foundational assumption, even though it's like, it's kind of like imagination, but it works because we can like apply these concepts into like real life. So when I say illusion, but that's part of reality also, because you get to experience like that illusion as well, like it's part of the experience. So then, like, I feel like that is pretty profound, because somehow that, even though it's an illusion, right, you can call it an illusion, but like, it does serves some sort of purpose. It does have something substantial about that illusion, right?
yeah,
And so
and
that's
that.
why
Please continue if it's not finished.
yeah, so that's why it intrigued me, because I was like, damn, like we are assuming this at like the fundamental level, and we're like, and it's useful, it's very useful. So then, like, it's like part of living in this world, like like you kind of have to, you can play around with those ideas as well,
Of
even
course.
though of course, if you say it's, of course you can't do that for a turn, like, well, what do you mean, like it doesn't make sense, right? On the opposite like view perspective, you say no, that's false, but in mathematics we say it's true.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
for the case that there will be an eventual difference in your illusion, right? Because you talk about eternity, but eternity is not actually eternity, right? Eternity is just somehow your explanation of saying something that might not end, but it might also end, right? And that illusion that is here for us to play with eventually got to end, eventually, even though it is for eternity, even
Mm.
though it is for many lives, even though you tell me that in real life, like when you wanted to find another word for illusion, you said real life. And that's the same thing as illusion, right? You're putting real life and illusion in the same basket. And I'm just saying this real life is not eternal, is it?
Well, no, because because of the mortality aspect.
Exactly. So that means the eternity has to go on somehow after. You don't know, right? Because we don't know what's after this. We assume we are immortal because
Yeah.
obviously we see people that they die and they don't move at all. And then you don't see anything else from them. And then you see their body rots and you see they get corrupted. You see they vanish, they just disappear completely.
Yeah.
That gives you the idea of, okay, then perhaps I also disappear and go. But that might also not be true, right?
Yeah.
Because somehow you have to explain the eternity to it. Somehow you have to explain, if I am an entity that has a
Mm.
possibility to mess with the illusion, possibility to mess with the real life, has all the possibilities to transform however it wants this illusion. Therefore, there has to be an eternity for this particular entity that is messing up with the illusion, right? Therefore, life after death. Therefore, in your equation, at the end, the eternity has to end because this illusion can go on from this life to the next life. I'm just saying, right? I don't know. I don't claim anything. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that based on what you're saying, at the end, the eternity got to a stop, at the end, because the eternity is not truly eternity.
Yeah. You can say it's functional illusion or something. I don't know. Yeah, but even like let's say even like I'll go like one step further and say that how do we get to know that there is like mortality, right? Let's just do like a little like thought experiment. And I'm like, well, you kind of have to like you see, and then you infer from like what you saw, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, it kind of applies to me as well. And so like that eternity aspect, like you can like let's say you can keep generating or doing the same thing over and over again. It's kind of like the same process of reasoning how you got to the conclusion of mortality. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the only conclusion you can have about mortality is I perhaps shoot myself in the head. That's the only conclusion, right? Because if you truly want to see the mortality, you gotta get to the extreme, right? You gotta go like, okay, let me see you then. But if you want to explain it, then we can get talking forever, right? We can talk about mortality because
Yeah.
the facts of certain like science says that like we die. This is the reason you see this cell, for example, they prove it to you that the cell will die anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the conclusion is not there because the conclusion only happens if you die. It's like the only conclusion you can have is that to die. Therefore, why to die? Because this is so much fun. And let that mortality stay in the factual state. Because the fact already tells you you're simply mortal. And this is very foundation of simply realizing the illusion. Because if you consider yourself immortal, it's exactly the way we see ourselves. We live our life as if we're immortals.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's right.
And that's wrong. That's just
Yeah, I know
simply,
it's wrong.
that
I know it's wrong.
simply tells you that, yo, factually, you're not looking at life.
Right.
Factually, if you look at life, you're just a mortal being. You cannot take any of these things with you anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Therefore, why not simply focus on the fact? And as soon as you focus on the fact, everything becomes clear. As soon as you look at the fact, you're like, okay, I'm gonna die. Why would I worry about this particular guy talks shit on my back, for example? And it's like, come on. Like, that's not gonna really cut
Mhm.
my piece, you know? It's like, that's not how it works. But we just let that thing live in our mind rent free because we think we're immortal, you know? It's like, come on. You can let go of so many things in life, like literally so many things in life, to just simply remind yourself you're gonna die someday. You know, it's like you're literally gonna die someday. Why would you worry about that particular thing? Because that's just simply factually reduce your life expectancy. You know, just like factually, stress will make your cells get older faster. You know, it's like it's simple.
Mhm. Yeah.
Therefore, you don't want to be stressed. Therefore, you don't want to be anxious. Therefore, you want to only be in the stress of life that is yours, not for others. You know, therefore, not a made up stress, not a made up anxiety, not a made up way of living. As soon as you realize you're gonna die someday, you live your
Mhm.
own way, and you live your own way with so much difference because now you don't go after certain resources in life that you might not ever make it. Like a $10 million for me, it's like why would I want to go after that resource? You know, it's like, yeah, maybe $10,000 because
Mhm.
that doesn't create so much work. But if I say $10 million, then I gotta get into that state of, stress and anxiety because I'm asking for it.
Mhm.
But then logically, you're like, does it make sense? Really? I don't know if I'm gonna die today, tomorrow, 100 years from now. But this $10 million are not. It's not gonna help me anyway because I could just die tomorrow. Therefore, it helps you to live very present with life. Therefore, it helps you to just simply realize that there could be a piano falling off my, like literally piano falling off my head right now and kill me. Therefore, why would I just like worry about, anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. But getting back to that illusion, the illusion becomes much more fun to play with when you actually realize that
Yeah.
you're not really of it. You're not really here to play with the illusion. You know, then you can just simply have fun with the illusion. But for so many,
Yeah.
perhaps, times, you just involve yourself with this illusion through mind, and that
Mhm.
is problematic, I would say. You know,
Yeah. You don't like you don't recognize it as an illusion in your head. Like, uh, the reason I keep saying that this is profound is because I see it as an illusion. Like I can put distance between myself, like what is facts and what is an illusion. And then I can engage with the illusion more, not super seriously. You know what I'm saying?
beautiful. Yeah, that's actually very nice. Yeah, when you see the illusion, you can just simply not take it so seriously. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's simple.
But Thomas, wouldn't you say that like your interest in the illusion is somewhat seeking an answer for that which is what we're just talking about of mortality, like an answer that's not mortality?
Uh, answer that's not mortality.
Like eternity, or an answer to something other than mortality.
Yeah. So what I was saying is basically I'm just making simple observations. I'm saying, oh, wait a second, math works, right? It's like kind of obvious in with our technology and everything, it works. But at the fundamental assumption of it, like what do we fundamentally assume, is that we have this eternity kind of concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, and somehow that eternity kind of illusion, right, works. So like that eternity, it's not like it's useless. It's not like it's useless, but it like that concept is useful, and that's why it's meaningful to kind of sort of engage with it in that sense. Like
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not like I'm claiming that there is like in objective reality that there is eternity. I don't know. I actually don't know. But all I can say is that, oh, wait, we've been kind of thinking in these terms, in this kind of eternal terms, at the fundamental level to use mathematics. Otherwise, if you reject this idea, then you can throw away mathematics. Like mathematics, you won't be able to reason with mathematics. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's really interesting that there is like this sort of side of how we engage with reality in this kind of manner. Like we have to engage. We can engage with it like in this sort of way right here, and it does produce some fruitful results. Yeah.
Okay.
To me, I feel like that's profound. It's uh, like it's really interesting that this is the case here. And there's also some interesting ideas as well. Like there's this okay, besides math, right? There's these things called like timeless wisdom. Like timeless wisdom here, like there's a concept in our head that's like, okay, this wisdom applies to every generation. That's why it's like timeless. Like there's certain principles that applies to from the past and even to the future. Like it applies all across. So there is this like timelessness aspect to it also. So that's all I'm gonna say. So
Yeah.
so I feel like it's really interesting that uh this is like this is the case here. Like it's really profound for me. Yeah.
Yeah, but this, you know, becomes also an attachment, right? Like this is profound, you know. Yes, the timeless wisdom. Yes, truth is timeless anyway, and wisdom is kind of the truth because it comes from experience, and experience somehow deals with the truth. But this attachment to simply observing everything that you observed to get to here and call it profound must disappear, right? Because what do you get from this profound moment? What do you get from this profound time? Like, what is it?
What is it, right? Yeah. Um. Well, I mean, like let's say a beginner. I'm just a beginner. I'm just like kind of it's just kind of settling into my being. Like all these stuff is so new to me, or like I'm just having these very like insightful uh realizations, and so they're still kind of new, and so it's still like uh you know I'm still intrigued by them. But yes, like you said, of course these things, like you shouldn't be attached to them, right? You just know that they're there, but you have to kind of um like you said, like not be so fixated with these ideas. Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, obs- uh, you're looking at it, because I can only look at it that this can create an attachment. And what is after the attachment? Like, how is this wisdom? How is this profound understanding that there are certain things that certain people said, and that is actually true because the wisdom is timeless, right? Let's
Yeah.
say Buddha said something, and you're getting
Right.
there mathematically, and you're getting there that, oh, okay, Buddha 2,500 years ago, I don't know, 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, this guy,
Mm.
whatever, whoever this guy was, said this particular thing that mathematically makes sense right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is it like? What can change in you? I'm just
Oh.
I'm just saying, like, what can change in you?
Okay. So one of the things that changed in me after realizing this is that uh, I can now, like, when I have a thought come up, I can label it that, okay, this right here is, uh, I can relate to the thought, like, is, let's see here, is like, uh, like there is like timeless, okay, like certain thoughts that I can like label it, like say that this right here, like, um, it's not like, it's not like my current, like, I don't know. It's just like recognizing that what, like, categorizing certain thoughts, like this thought um is an illusion, or this thought does not apply to my experience. So you can start relating to them in a better way. And so after realizing like these profound insights, I've I've been relating to my thoughts with more like with uh with less seriousness. Like I'm less serious about the thoughts, but I'm engaging with it like having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that outcome is really, uh beneficial,
Yeah, beautiful. Well said. Thank you.
Almost like you're able to separate yourself from the thoughts a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that profound realization is you enables you to separate yourself from the thoughts.
And that makes you a good
Right.
joker.
Good
That's
looking.
just how good jokers work.
Okay.
Really. Like, that's just the joker, It's like never taking things so seriously and simply looking at
Yeah,
any
because
any concept just somehow a joke.
right, because you see it as a concept. You like
Yeah.
you realize that that's what it is,
Yeah.
and that's what that like all that profound realization really leads up to.
Yeah, and that's a joke in comparison to the profound realization.
Yeah, yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
and I guess it works, when play the role of the fool, the joker, it really liberates you individually. But then when you participate in the opposite, it just imprison everyone together. So the
Yeah,
joker, the joker, the fool, is just liberated individually and laughs at the collective because the collective is so imprisoned altogether. And somehow, when you look at the illusion, somehow, when you look at the joke of this reality, you can only laugh, like there is no other way. You can only laugh about what's happening right now, it's just, you can't cry about it, you can only laugh at it. And that's kind of perhaps for so many people not so nice, because people would like to cry about the state of the world, but the state of the world is like absurdly comedic, it's like absurdly
Yeah.
somehow very funny when you look at it.
and very theatrical.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yes. So there's I think there's been like talks about like how we're going into like this what is it like what's the term
Yeah.
idiocracy
Yeah, yeah.
Theocracy.
yeah like oh man like we like now everything is theatrical, people in power are just like kind of getting a little crazy, right? It's scary, it is quite scary.
Yeah, but it was always like that. Even from the kings and queens times, it was always like that. The, there were so many states in human history that it just plays the same thing. Everything is idiotic anyway. Like from when you create the hierarchy, everything becomes idiotic. Like it, because you can only see someone else more idiot. There is always a level. But if you don't create the hierarchy, there is no idiocracy. There cannot be any idiot person, because there is no hierarchy. you know Therefore everyone somehow lives the same reality, and perhaps they have lack of intelligence, but they are not idiots because they are not somehow programmed into that theater,
Mm,
right?
mm.
But
Yeah,
then when
yeah,
you
yeah.
create hierarchy, like there were kings that they were keeping the peasants in very low standard condition to just simply exploit them, right? They create rumors about the king could perhaps do all wonders, right? Perhaps the king could fly, and people would believe that.
However, in Buddhism, right, or maybe I think in Christianity as well, there are hierarchies. The reason we want hierarchies, I think, is because we want to maintain standards, right? Like let's say there's some guy that's super smart or super wise or whatever. Uh, like he should like that mind should be like at a higher level, then and then you can like rank the other um so that that hierarchy kind of like supports people who haven't gotten up to that state of mind. You know what I'm saying? So in Buddhism, this in the monk culture, they do have that kind of like hierarchy to kind of like per- preserve standards,
Yeah,
right?
of course, because they also believe in the wheel of Dharma, right? They all
Yeah,
somehow are hierarchical anyway. Some of them are more enlightened than the other one, and some of them
yeah,
more animal than the other one, and all of these things just strike in the hierarchical state. And I'm not necessarily saying hierarchy is good or bad. I'm just giving
yeah,
the you know I'm just trying to say that this idiocracy always been there, because you have this hierarchy. You
yeah,
always have somehow certain level of hierarchy and complexity, right? Sometimes it's the perhaps natural selection, sometimes it's now artificial selection. Now we're getting to the artificial selection, right? So far we've been based on natural selection, but soon it
yeah.
will be artificial selection.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
this
yeah,
person is very intelligent, therefore this has to be cloned more and put it in this section. Perhaps this person's sperm is the best one, we have to keep
okay.
this one. This is how it is. And then
This is,
perhaps you get to a point, okay, this sperm is very not intelligent, we don't just create this one to become a human, because we got there. We can look at the sperm and look at the blueprint and say, okay, this blueprint is horrible, like let's not produce this blueprint. And then, oh, this blueprint is kind of in a way aligned with our way of standards, let's say, like We need more Einsteins, or I don't know, we need more of these type of people. Then it's
Mm.
artificial selection. We simply go there. So far been
Yeah,
natural selection. Perhaps at some point it was whoever was stronger was hierarchical. Then you got whoever was more intelligent, more cunning, perhaps could just create a better environment. All of these hierarchies continuously go on. And as also the truth of everything is somehow we gotta go higher. Somehow we gotta get higher. So this is hierarchical, you know.
yeah,
You cannot not see it that way, because the truth is you gotta get higher. That's what I'm trying to tell people. You gotta get higher.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
higher
But
where,
yeah,
that's a little bit of a.
yeah. Where do you place this hierarchy?
For
Maybe
me,
like it.
I think we got to get a little bit more out of planetary level. Like you really got to think out of the planet box. Like if you don't do that, you're fooling yourself. It's like somehow if you try to connect in the cosmic level, you're gonna get feedback that you would never imagine. It's like that's
Not
how it
even
works.
traveling around the world.
No,
Uh,
but everything perhaps can be helpful to that click moment, right? You were looking for the
mm.
click moment. Everything you do on this planet, perhaps if it creates a click to connect with somewhere higher and different and it's a totally different space, then perhaps that's where I am trying to go. So come with me.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Huh? This is pretty good. I like that. But I think soon we can call it a nice meeting and go come back next week. But we have this guy that can't wait until this stupid body inevitably fails. Okay. This guy is really thinking about his mortality.
yeah, bro.
That's good. That's good for him. Okay. Do you want to add anything, Josh, Thomas, Coleman?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to put you guys on mute because I'm right behind the gym. So,
No worries. No worries. Yeah,
but
I
it was
just
fun
I
because when you're saying idiocracy, you
no
know,
worries. Yeah, this is the live will be out if you are interested to see what was going on, but it's nothing important going on anyway. I just wanted to say if you want to add something, we can end this live
yeah,
session.
yeah. I was just gonna say, Thomas, it was really good listening to your perspective. And I related a lot to what you said, like because you're obviously what are you in your 20s?
Yeah, I'm in my.
Yeah, yeah. It just reminded me of how I was at that time and questioning and no, and then also realizing I'm not that far off from that right now. But it was good to hear from you and just obviously you too, mommy and Coleman, for you to just hang out. That's cool too. Like
Yeah,
it's just good
that's
these
awesome.
conversations.
Yeah, Coleman,
Beautiful.
you better show your face like next time, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
No,
have to do
Coleman,
that.
you can show your face anytime you want. It just look, I just want people to turn on the cameras because first it makes it a little bit more intimate. Second, whoever wants the camera off, it's better to have it on because it will help them. It's just simple. Because there
Right.
is a
Yeah.
reason you're keeping it off. And you might give me all sorts of excuses. But if you eventually decide to share, then you take off so much load, it's like, and why not take off the load? You could just take off the load and it will be fine. But for now, take your time, be easy. If even if you don't want to show your face next time, just hang in there and I'm happy you're here.
Right on. Well, I'll see about it. I'll see if I can try. Yeah.
Cool.
I relate to you, Coleman. Like, I feel the same way. Like, I really didn't want to put my face on the camera and talk for whatever reason, but
Yeah.
I know that I'm trying.
Layers and layers and layers of paranoia and whatnot. It's just I'll get through it.
Yeah. And also this meeting, this Google meeting, I'm not gonna share anyway. The only thing that is gonna share is my face there and the voices of you guys. So
Well, right on. That helps.
they're
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
see you. And
Yeah.
this meeting gets recorded, but I'm not gonna share it, and just perhaps keep it for the records and stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, that helps. I just want people who join the meeting at least to see each other, because you're one step closer to that meeting and meet up, and there are others that perhaps are also a little more level shy, like you're shy to show your face and they are shy to even come in, for example. And then slowly this will just sort itself out. Anyways, I just would like to thank all of you, and I will stay like this for the next minute before to end this meeting, the Google meeting, guys. I just want to say bye to you, and then perhaps in the live, say live to whoever is live. Thank you so much, really, Thomas, Josh, and Coleman. I really
See you guys
am
next time.
grateful. Much love. Take care. Bye bye. Okay. We got some people out there. Thank you. Thank you for joining this session. Thank you for participating. I hope this was somewhat aligned, and hopefully we can get ourselves more aligned. And I would like to meet more of you and perhaps create some connection in that way. And that will be awesome. Much love.